Good evening. My name is Alexander Hagan. I am a citizen Libya news journalist. I've been working 2,000 hours on this beat. Today I'm going to be speaking about the election results in Libya. So the title is Libya, not NATO or Qatar, its buddies exceed expectations. The Libyan people are showing the ability for the moment to form up into a political discourse now. To a large part, which will be able to muscle down these militias as backwater equivalent of Okies for the U.S. or the backwater tribal people. And as more and more of the urban and semi-urban areas are willing to change their way of dealing to the political arena for a while, it will put a peer pressure on these militias that may be able to quell the violence. Again, I don't support the NATO intervention. I don't believe the ends ever justify the means, because the ends are the means. So there's still more to come from this ultra-violent way of trying to negotiate a democratic society in Libya, if that is what the world desired to impose upon it. However, we must look at the facts as they are. And the facts as they are is that it is a promising development in Libya, these elections. And the results are as follows. Jibril's national forces are getting about half of the results, and we can assume this is going to carry over to some extent in the individual candidates, which account for 120 more candidates. There are 80 here, or 120 more coming. We've got the list, and there's nothing to indicate that this trend won't continue. So we have the Muslim, this party undetermined part is essentially just a ratio that we look at. So it's 51 to 20. And then there's a few more nationalists in here. So you're looking at over 2 to 1 against the people that were the vanguard of the revolution, the guys who did the heavy lifting, the Islamists, the remnants of the Libya Islamic fighting group that also had a lot of people travel and fight in other jihads like in Iraq and in Afghanistan. And now they're going into Syria. Libyan Islamic jihad fighters are going into Syria. So at any rate, the question is, where do the loyalists show up in all of this? And I found a very interesting survey. Let's see if I can find this for you. I will, don't worry, here it is. This is a survey from Al Jazeera. No, I won't vote. These are people who were asked about this election. I will participate. Sure, I'll vote for the best of the country. Yes, I'll vote, and I wish to have a peaceful and stable life. Now, you see, that doesn't really describe the benefits of the revolution, because Libya already was peaceful and stable. All is good in the elections. He's happy. Sure, I'll vote. I hope the health sector will turn out best. Been a lot of problems with that. I will not participate because I'm not convinced about the idea of elections. I will take part to help improve the situation. No, Islamic Sharia don't accept that. Abdullah. Surely they'll take part for the country's good. And so forth. So you can see that there's a variance of opinion. So the question is the Gaddafi factor. That is, we need to look at in all of these results. We know that the Gaddafi candidates are suppressed. So, for example, there is an article here in the Arab press. In this article, we'll get to it in just 1 second. Here we come. Sharq-e-Com, leading Arabic and National Daily. This guy says that most of the Libyan people are religious and tribal. When Gaddafi first came to power, the opposition movement was originally fueled by the religious forces, hence any close observer would have thought the Libyan Islamists in various guises would have swept the recent parliamentary elections with a landslide victory, because as in Egypt and Tunisia, there were liberal currents, and even more so, yet the Islamists sprung out. So it seemed inevitable in Libya. So he doesn't really clearly indicate why Jibril has won, in my opinion. He does being remnant of Gaddafi's regime. So their subsequent loss prompted him to challenge the credibility and integrity of the process. And then they say he's charismatic, and that may be true. And then fragmentation is another problem. But he never bites the real bullet here. So the real bullet is this article right here, which confirms my theory. And I'll explain to you why it's important. So we have the factor of the Islamists, the right, and we have the factor of the people that are just looking, that are willing to pay the price for this anarchy to get greater personal freedoms than they had under Gaddafi at the risk of greater corporate exploitation, shall we say, and instability. So those are sort of the center, however you want to call those people. And then you have the people on the left, so to speak, the people that sympathize with the old regime. And this article talks about this. It says that Libyans appear to be putting their hopes in his National Forces Alliance, which is actually composed of a lot of parties inside the alliance. Many believe the party can unite other ideologically opposed parties, both opponents and supporters of former dictator Muammar Gaddafi. And I'll be posting these in the comment section on this video, so you can get to these links. And you'll see there's a person who supported Gaddafi who supports Jibril, and then they go on to describe an opponent of Gaddafi who supports Jibril. So what this means is that we do indeed have three key factors here. So in the cosmopolitan sense of politics, we're seeing, if we can look at this little breakout one more time, we're seeing that here is the National Forces, 41 members, that point of the 200 possible, versus the Muslim Brotherhood's 16, 41 to 16. So you can extrapolate that out, and you see it's something like 3 to 1. And then there are other fragmentary forces. But if you extrapolate those two numbers out, the Gaddafi supporters are in here. So you're going to have basically three major forces lining up. You're going to have, on the one hand, these regional players like the Federalists in the east and Cyrenaica for Benghazi. And what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is, here we are. Here's a good map. And so Benghazi is here. And this whole area of the east is Cyrenaica, and there's some Federalist movement there. There's tribal movements in many areas, but Misrata is almost a power unto itself. Beni Walid is the last major holdout of the Warfala, and the Misrata hate each other even more than the fact that Warfala had a lot of Gaddafi supporters amongst them. And in fact, Jibril, if I'm not mistaken, is Warfala, which may also be a factor. So it looks to me like probably a third of Jibril's support is coming from the left. And so what that means is if he's, according to this schema here, he's probably not going to hold much more than 51% in his party group. So if we go back to this document, right now that's where they're at. Although this undetermined block means that they could fall into this camp as they're sorted out. But without the left, their alliance can be overturned by a combination of all the other players. So this, I'm a bit jealous of myself, because as an American, we don't get to let anybody except Republicans and Democrats, at least here, your voice can be heard. But it's a question of, different constitutions. But I prefer at the moment a parliamentary system. And I think that should give you enough information for tonight. Thank you. Good night and good luck.